one of the things that happens this time of year, every Halloween since about when Colorado, and actually even before Colorado, where they talk about how it's so dangerous that weed candy, cannabis-infused candies, are going to find their way into kids.
Well, it's outrage media. I mean, outrage sells. So how do we manufacture something with outrage in it? You know, that's the pearl clutching that they've always gone with.
Right.
And it just never happens, right? You never actually hear about it happening.
Right. Exactly.
You only hear about that it could happen or will happen.
So we have an article that we brought up, and it's also,
it's expensive. No one wants to give their expensive edibles to children.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a second. So Ben's on top of this. This is why he should be writing articles. So I reached out to a writer for the news agency called Reason, or a magazine called Reason, and he wrote an article last year, and the title of this article is "Cops and Reporters Are Still Trying to Hype Halloween Threat Posed by Strangers with Cannabis Candy." And so what he did on this article, and if you, control room, if you want to pop my screen up, we'll take a look at it. And Todd's got a couple parts in it that he's gonna talk about. But you guys can see this picture. We all know what it looks like. They make the packages look almost identical to regular candy, but at the end of the day, it's not the same. And you know, there's a lot of different, you know, extra warnings and things that don't look quite right with it. And, you know, like Ben said, I don't really buy the whole fact that, you know, you're going to spend this kind of money on edibles and just start sticking it in kids' fucking, you know, little baskets. So what Jacob, and I reached out to Jacob, and Jacob was going to come on the show tonight to talk to us about this article. And unfortunately, he couldn't come because his wife was having surgery today, and it's just a difficult day to do that. But you know, we exchanged some pleasantries, and he seems to be like a really nice guy. But I really was impressed with this article, because what he did with this article is he really tore after it being the myth, not the fact, not the warning, not the precautionary tales that we're all told about on what to look out for. And you know, you and I, before the show, we were talking about when we were kids, they were talking about razor blades being in there.
That was a big thing.
That was the big thing, because there wasn't weed to talk about, and they want to scare you with something. You got to get scared. You got to be scared, T. Greedy.
Yeah.
Because you're not compliant if you're not scared, right? So if you're scared and you're worried about something, then, you know, we have to pay attention to the news. We have to pay attention to the authorities. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so what Jacob did in this article is he tore this down. And I know you got a couple parts that you want to kind of talk about and highlight, which I think is great. But it really does talk about it. And now, when we're done talking about this, there is one situation that did happen where kids did get this shit at Halloween in Canada, in Winnipeg, and we've got some stories about that. So, and then we've got some videos to kind of go with this. And so, actually, you know what, control room, why don't you play that video that talks about the scare, and then we'll go from there.
Tonight, NBC4 Investigates is tackling some Halloween fears to make sure you are prepared, not overly scared, for the spookiest night of the year. In just 2 days, the streets will be filled with little trick-or-treaters.
This is also the time of the year where scary rumors go viral, of course, but just how much truth is behind them? NBC4 Investigates' Isabel Cleary joins us now with answers. Isabel, this will make a lot of parents feel better, we hope, about Thursday night.
That's right, Jen and Jared. We are hoping it will. There are two concerns that seem to go viral each year: fears of razor blades in Halloween candy and people handing out marijuana edibles to children. I checked in with area hospitals as well as Columbus Police, and take a look at the numbers. I checked in with Columbus Police, the Central Ohio Poison Center, and Mount Carmel Health Systems. My question: do they get any reports of razor blades in Halloween candy or people handing out edibles? The answers: in the last 5 years, Columbus Police have not received a single report of drugs or weapons in Halloween candy. It's the same for Mount Carmel. Data over the last 5 years shows the number of children who came into Mount Carmel's ER because of tampered candy is 0.
Every year it seems to pop up this almost urban legend of people putting razor blades and other harmful objects in candy. And the truth of the matter is we just don't see that.
We also checked in with the Central Ohio Poison Center. And again, the data shows 0 calls for help related to candy collected by trick-or-treaters.
That's one of those old wives' tales sorts of things.
Now, that doesn't mean there aren't any things
Control Room,
to
you
look
can
out
kill it.
for on Halloween night.
You want to take
So I thought that was a really good news mainstream representation of basically them describing what they fucking do to everybody.
Like it could happen, but it doesn't.
It doesn't. And there's zero precedent for thinking that there's so why do we have to alarm the people? So go ahead, man. Take a couple.
So maybe it's they're just trying to coincide with Halloween and trying to scare people. And it sells, right? So that's what they're doing.
Right,
And
exactly.
they're selling this story, all this hysteria, and nothing's happening. I want to check and see, back in the 70s, what were the razor blade sales like? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they didn't peak during Halloween.
Well, it started with that Tylenol scare, I think is with that Tylenol fucking scare. And then after that, it was like, wow, we can invoke this type of fear in the public, and then they have to rely on us to...
Tylenol actually did have a bad batch, though, right? And
They
spent
did.
a huge amount of money recalling it.
They did, but there was also, I think... It's some I don't know the full story, so I don't want to talk about it, but I think it got elaborated in some fashion where it grew beyond what the actual threat was. Sure. That's what I think happened, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But next time, if you have a headache, smoke some weed, keep it organic.
Yeah,
chemicals out your mouth.
Yeah. So what parts of Jacob are like? Is there a couple parts of Jacob's article that you thought were of?
Well, one of the things you're talking about, the candy, mirroring, the edibles. But it's strict. It's labeling on there says not for children. And like Ben spoke to earlier, you're not going to give your goods away. That's expensive. Okay, so the edibles are for me, and kids, you get the candy. That's just facts.
Yeah, I think people who use cannabis, they're used to having an area to hide things or stash things. To stay.
Yeah,
they understand that.
Well,
concept.
you've been doing it. The concept of hiding your shit has been forever. You fuck. It's ingrained.
Concept's better than anyone.
That's
they
right.
Have a hoodie with a hidden spot, a hat with a hidden spot, some shoes with a hidden spot, and a backpack with some hidden spots. So
T Greedy keeps it inside the sole of his shoe. He got special shoes because you don't want nobody to fucking get that shit.
My man. So has anyone here heard of anybody that children or has got bad candy?
So Todd, what do you think about this overhypeness?
I really think it is overhyped. I mean, I used to go all around town back in the day when trick-or-treating was the thing, right? And nobody ever ended up with razor blades, even in their apple. They gave away apples, So it's about, policing your
and
stuff.
so if someone gave you fucking fruit, you were throwing that shit out anyway.
Probably.
Yeah. I think part of the obvious, sorry to cut anyone off, part of the obvious is one of the connotations is has to do with how you're dressed. Is there's a lot of people who think Halloween is fundamentally evil, so they need somewhere to project that particular disdain. So in their mind, this is an evil thing, and they look around and they see kids eating candy and dressing like the chick who can't break dance, but then they think of something that actually could be bad, and they get excited maybe that they can actually maybe even have a shred of something in the real world to go after. And they go after us,
Well, it's a good perspective. That's a good perspective. T Greedy, what do you think?
Yo, I didn't even know they were still saying that.
Really?
Still, yeah. Like I thought that Ben died.
Yeah.
Well,
old story.
Yeah, like I was a kid when
talking to the mic.
I was a kid when that saying check the candy and all that.
Did your mom make you check the candy?
Yeah, she did too. Yeah.
Yeah, we pour it out on the table.
Yeah, pour it out on the table. Yeah.
T Greedy comes. T Greedy comes back off the streets with the candy. He come in. He ready to rip it up. Yo, mom said, "Yo, hold up. We gotta check the candy for fucking razor blades."
And that was the time. You know what that really was for? The parents checking the candy, so they can steal your candy.
Yeah.
Shit, that's what that was all about.
T Greedy, and then after she started looking at his candy, she said,
"What the fuck is that?"
That's what she said right there. That's what she wanted to know. What the fuck did you bring back here?
Things that did happen on Halloween instead of these, stories and myths. I mean, Halloween. People maybe egging cars, right? Throwing toilet paper all around. Those are the things that did happen.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
overdosing
Halloween.
on corn syrup. How American is that, right?
Right.
Eating a bunch of,
High
crystallized corn syrup.
fructose
Yeah, that's the most American thing ever.
Yeah.
Like individually wrapped, like more plastic than candy.
My man.
That's so American.
Yep.
And then wearing something that you put in the closet for another year. That's made by someone who's probably just learning how to walk.
Water. I know. I know.
Ben spitting facts tonight, man.
It's in effect.
I might have to let him make a
It's
proclamation.
me. I was making that now.
So I want to ask you guys. We all grew up in different places, right? Different.
Yeah,
areas.
Mike. You know.
So
better.
did anybody out here experience bag snatching on Halloween?
Yeah. I mean, I do love it.
Well, wait a second.
The older kids would grab some of the.
Right. That was common. There was some good.
We didn't have none of that.
Man.
In our hood, you got your ass kicked for stealing candy like that. If you tried to steal candy.
Yeah, but it's a simple,
fucking knows.
simple
Snatching
equation.
bags.
You have three big people and 2 small people. Those are some walking bags of candy. If you decide that
Yo,
that's
Phil, if you was in my hood, your bag would have been snatched.
Guys calling the cops and telling them everybody got his bag stolen.
so that's why you guys don't like each other.
I'd have got
That's
that
where
bag.
this religious thing starts. I thought it had something to do with Jerusalem, or I don't know.
Well, so anyway, so we're talking about this being the myth that it is, and how fucking silly it is that we're even writing articles each year and warning people and scaring people. But because these dumbass motherfuckers in Winnipeg, and matter of fact, you know what, Control Room, why don't you play the video, and then we'll talk about these dudes.
I'm upset that it happened as a parent, as a police officer. Unfortunately, I'm not surprised.
Winnipeg police have arrested 2 adults in connection with the cannabis edibles found in multiple children's Halloween candy.
In a certain quantity, it can be harmful to anyone, but certainly children's bodies are much more vulnerable than even an adult's body would be. So we have to take all precautions.
A 63-year-old male and a 53-year-old female are facing numerous charges, which include 13 counts of causing bodily harm by criminal negligence.
A suspect residence was identified and a search warrant was subsequently executed in the first 100 block of Coleraine Crescent.
On Monday, Winnipeg police received over a dozen reports about THC Nerds candy found in children's Halloween candy. The edibles were discovered in the children's bags after trick-or-treating in the South Tuxedo neighborhood.
Investigators have spoken to the families and determined that children between ages 6 and 16 had received these THC edibles.
During a press conference, Constable Danny McKinnon said that the investigation is still ongoing and that she's urging parents to continue to monitor their children's Halloween candy.
We want parents to check the treat bags, and we encourage you to continue to make a report if you do find these THC nerd candies in your kids' Halloween candy.
McKinnon says that the motive behind this crime is still unclear, but no single child was intentionally targeted. In Winnipeg, Sweet Arasi, City News.
Wow.
Those are some bags to snatch.
So it says
all them bags.
Do you have the article? Hey, do you have the article? What those people, what those couples said? Because what they said was, this was their fucking excuse, Ben. They said that they were intoxicated on weed, which caused them to give their weed away.
Well, the first story was that the first story that they said was that they ran out of candy, and so they went and got some of their own.
Oh my God.
No. That's not, because if you look at it and it says in the case, because what they do is they try to, they're looking for intent, right? And when they're prosecuting. So they're saying that they actually had candy by the door, which led them to believe that though it was still wrong, it wasn't a calculated type of thing. They didn't set out to do this.
Right, it was an accident.
Somehow this candy got mixed in with the other candy.
So the one time it happened, it was an accident. Right?
Listen, you smoke a little bit.
I've tried.
We all. I think everybody.
I'd say
I think everybody at this
I've
table.
tried
I think everybody at this table smokes a little bit. Have you ever gotten to the point where you wouldn't know that? Like
I've tried, and no.
No, me neither. Me neither. What do you think about this whole story and this whole
I think
thing?
they should lock them up and throw away the key, man. These people are idiots. You gotta be
Talking to the mic.
You got to be responsible for your own drugs.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
You can't handle it and do something stupid like that. It gets into the.
So they didn't get jail time. But did I give you the?
Well, this is a one-off.
You got the article?
But yeah,
Right.
But what they actually did, their excuse was, hey, we ran out of candy, we're high, so we went and grabbed some stuff that we thought was candy, and it was edibles.
yeah.
So it sounded like it was deliberate to me, but this is just a one-off.
Yeah, there's a saying, the exception that makes the rule. So the fact that it happened once is a testament to the fact that this doesn't happen.
Right.
Like things that
people that did it.
So what we're talking about, guys, is
It's
something
the
that's
exception that makes the rule.
They make
It just doesn't happen.
out of them, so nobody.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's a way to scare people, and it's a way. And listen, it's not only a way to scare people and try to control them, but listen, there are those out here who don't agree with cannabis being in the spot that cannabis is in, and so they're going to take any opportunity they have to fucking do this kind of shit. So what we've talked about so far, guys, in recap, is we've talked about retailers who have pushed Halloween down your throat when there's zero correlation to this. And then we flipped completely on the other side to talk about how the media is overhyping a risk or a problem that doesn't even fucking exist. What do you think, T. Grady? What talking to the mic? I'm gonna get T. Greedy a wireless mic so he don't have to fuck. He's too busy for that fucking.
You got
mic,
two of
man.
them, please.
Like T. Greedy chilling.
He's chilling. That's why I'm saying, like, if I give him a wireless mic, he can recline, do whatever. Next time, I'm gonna lock his chair out so he can't recline.
Yeah, right. Stretching and everything on this.
Stop it. Get some help.
Come on.
You know what? This sounds like a good. Maybe we should do an adult Halloween. All right.
An adult Halloween?
What do you call this?
Hand out weed, right?
Yeah.
Edibles,
Okay.
dabs.
So tell me about it.
Well, shit. Next Halloween, we want to have it.
All candy
I want
strains.
everybody come here. We're gonna have Halloween here.
To do trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
And then
right
what
here.
we're giving out is not, it's going to be tainted.
It's going to listen.
Adult Halloween.
Okay.
You want some
For
fucking,
adults.
you want to see some risk, some tainted candy.
Look, we're gonna break it down.
Now,
I don't think you thought about the business model of this. Giving out
well, there's going to, what he forgot to tell you, though.
sponsored.
Yeah.
by-
Yeah. Sponsored by somebody.
For sure.
Sponsored by somebody. So do you have a quote? Do you have a quote from the people that got arrested? Do you know how? I think they got like 6 or 12 months of probation. What do you got?
Well, their defense was, they're going through some personal issues and things of that nature, but kind of like a smack on the hand. And they got caught, and but again, it was a rare case. I haven't heard any other case but this one. I think that was the only case that came there. So